a beautiful organization who will be celebrating their 15th anniversary in November. An organization that I have very near and dear to my heart, the Providence Youth Student Movement!
Good afternoon, Rhode Island Pride members, Rhode Island government officials, members of the LGBTQIA communities, families, friends, and supporters. Before we begin, we would like to acknowledge that we are standing, marching, parading, and celebrating on stolen Narragansett and Wampanoag lands. We honor the indigenous communities whose lands we are occupying. We also honor the Black and Brown communities who have experienced and continue to experience violence on this land. And family of the Providence Youth Student Movement, also known as PrYSM. PrYSM is a community organization that organizes at the intersections of race, class, and gender and sexual orientation by centering youth, women, queer, and people of color leadership in our campaigns, our organization, and our communities. Our program, Queer and Trans Thursdays, creates safe spaces for queer and trans people of color to advocate for ourselves, support our communities, organize for political empowerment, and build community. This year, Rhode Island Pride has named PrYSM honorary marshals for the 40th Rhode Island Pride Parade. In addition, Rhode Island Pride representatives, in conjunction with Mayor Alorza, supports the over-policing and increased surveillance of Rhode Island Pride. According to Options magazine, Rhode Island Pride representatives met on Monday, June 13th with Providence Police, Rhode Island State Police, the Providence Emergency Management Association, and local business owners to review their safety plan and coordinate their efforts and communication after the Orlando mass anti-LGBTQ shooting. As a result, Rhode Island Pride and Mayor Alorza's blatant disregard of the trauma, histories, and experiences of LGBTQ people of color with state violence, PrYSM rejects the position of honorary marshal. PrYSM rejects Rhode Island Pride's tokenizing of communities of color. PrYSM rejects Rhode Island Pride. In response to a tragedy where predominantly Latinx and other people of color were murdered, Rhode Island Pride defaulted to encouraging the police and other institutions that perpetuate violence against LGBTQ people of color to violate our communities. It is telling that Rhode Island Pride chose to work with local businesses and representatives of state violence before communicating with the local and grassroots organizations that work to defend marginalized communities every day, and that Rhode Island Pride uses for its diversity shots in Pride propaganda. The roots of Pride are embedded into a history of police violence, the Stonewall Uprising of 1969, and the courage of queer and trans people of color fighting against police forces, brutalized their communities, catalyzed the first American Pride Parades of 1970. Pride is a symbol of LGBTQIA community survival against forces of oppression, hatred, and destruction. We must recognize that the police and the oppression they sustain are simply extensions of the violence that took the lives of our queer siblings in Orlando, of our queer siblings overseas slaughtered by U.S. warfare, and our queer communities attacked by the same cops who claim solidarity with us during Pride and beat us once the rainbow flags are lowered. PrYSM has prioritized community safety since our inception, arising in response to gang violence that put the lives of Southeast Asian youth at risk. PrYSM will be continuing our legacy of keeping marginalized communities safe and prioritizing the real needs of communities of color. We will be boycotting Pride until Rhode Island Pride prioritizes queer and trans people of color. We are calling for decreased police presence and surveillance of communities joy. No peace, no racist police. No justice, no peace. 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 No racist police. Thank you.
Everybody give it up for PrYSM! Unfortunately. That was a beautiful, powerful message. We want to make sure that everybody in our community is heard, even if it doesn't make me look like the best guy, but it's cool. It's cool.